Hello, hello, hello. I hope you guys can hear me. This is my Wednesday live stream. I kind of alternate throughout the month. If you're watching the replay, you can fast forward till the project's happening. If you're in chat, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me just see who's here. I gotta just fix this. I thought I saw Shaz. Yes, there's Shaz. Hi, Shaz. Hi, Candy. So I'm a little bit late. I'll tell you why. So I'm working on Big Peggy today, which is my big gel plate. Hi, Laverne. And I took it out of its case and I realized that I forgot to actually put a cover paper on it. Oh, sorry, let me just move this stuff here. Oh, it's like a comedy of errors here. So usually I put it back in this case and I have a base paper on and then I put a cover paper, but for some reason I put the cover paper with the base paper. So it was all stuck to my clamshell. I don't recommend that. And I had paint on it. And so was spending some time taking the paint off. Hi, Apple. Hi, Beth. Hi, I thought I saw Marilyn. Maybe I didn't. Oh, there's Marilyn. Yes, you can hear me. Good. So I was using my baby oil I used some packing tape to take some of the paint off, and I was using my baby oil, and then I spread it out, and then I used a baby wipe to sort of scrape it, to like scrub it. And baby oil dissolves the glue on my press-on nail. So because I was using this finger a lot to press on the tape. I'll show you one of the tapes. So just take some packing tape, and I was taking off some of the paint that was on there. So I would push it as I was like pulling it, and then this nail just fell off. So I will put it back on. I was able to get all the glue off. I got all the glue off, so I could stick it back on eventually. I think it goes that way. But they've lasted well, but I should have been wearing gloves. So that was user error. If you're using like, baby oil or cooking oil or any oil, put gloves on. Hi, Diane. Hi, Utah. So yeah, so that was like a last minute thing that happened. And then I got some paint under this one. And so I'm enjoying my press-on nails, but they don't look great from the backside, but it's helping my nails recover from when I had my gel manicure. But anyhow, that's another story. So when I'm gel plating today, I think I'll put some gloves on. Hi, Zen Jen. What's on my desk, you may ask? So I've got some happy mail. I did get some happy mail from Dee Dee. She sent me this Flow magazine. I don't know what month this was from, but it was about doodling on leaves by Ellen Nijbridge-Rank. And I did post this to Instagram. So I thought, well, before autumn comes, I'm going to try this. So I did it on a couple leaves, and let me bring that close. And it was fun. And she recommends using, I think, Mod Podge to seal it if you want to seal it. Where's her Mod Podge? Yeah, she recommends Mod Podge. I don't have any Mod Podge, so I use the satin medium, but I don't think I put it on thick enough. So here's my leaves. So on one side, the front side, I doodled on with the white Posca pen. And then this one yesterday when I posted, it was still nice and green, but today it was going a little brown because I don't think I put a thick enough coating of the satin glaze, or maybe it needs Mod Podge, I don't know. And then this was the back side. I just used white and black Posca pens. So that was fun. So I added another layer. These ones seem okay. These ones don't seem to be getting brown, but this one, I added another layer of the satin medium, and then maybe later I'll add another one. So that was fun. Thank you, Dee Dee, for sending me that inspiration. Hi, Christina. The tape, yeah, the tape turned out good, but it wrecked my fingernail, but that's okay. So I hope you guys like those doodled leaves. I did post that on my Instagram. I think for me, I don't know which one's my favorite. I think maybe this one. I think this one might be my favorite. So that's the back side, and this is the front side. That's pretty though. This one, I think I used her ideas. These ones I feel getting a bit crunchy, so I think maybe they need a few more coats of the satin glaze or the matte medium. What else? Hi, Joanne. Joan, did I miss Joan? And then when I was at the dollar store, I saw they had this Eileen's industrial strength glue stick. So I thought that might be fun to try. I don't think we'll be trying it today, but, and then I got another one of these stamps, I think in the Dee Dee Happy Mail. So that's the envelope. So I cut it off and then I glued it onto a gel print to make another photo corner. I showed one last week. And this is a card from Teresa Peterman. Thank you, Teresa, for the lovely card. And she makes them blank so that you can reuse them. So that was very sweet to receive. Appreciate it. And then this was for a super chat. Dee Dee sent me some stickers. So I just got those today in the mailbox. So these are this is from one of her Inktober's. I think the frog's from her sketchbook. And then these bats, those are going to go in my Halloween journal for sure. And then she gave me a little sloth print. And I don't think I have her sloth yet. So these are going to go in I have a Dee Dee binder. So I'll put some of these in my Dee Dee binder. That's going to go in my Halloween journal. So thank you very much, Dee Dee, for the Happy Mail. Hi, Colleen. Good to see you. Long time no see. Hi, Heidi. So that's some Happy Mail, and there's a glue stick that I should unpack. And so I've been enjoying my press-on nails. These ones are a week and a half, 1.5 weeks old, and they're working well. And it's helping me grow my nails, but now I can't get into packages I don't want to wreck my nail. Hello, Brittany. Yes, I'm interested too. I need something to open it up. I'd seen them at Michael's actually, and I didn't buy them. And then I was at the dollar store, Dollar Tree, I think it was. And I saw it there. So I thought, oh, I'm going to buy one here and give it a try. But the Michael's had a pack had a few in it, and I thought, well, I'm gonna maybe wait on that. And then when I saw the single, I thought that's a great way. So just to compare the size, this is my Elmer's purple school glue, and then this is the Eileen's tacky, so it's a bit smaller. It says permanent low odor, I can't talk, and no residue. So we'll see how that works at some point. Probably not today, but okay, that was a bit of a gong show this morning. So let me just put that aside. And so I've got Big Peggy on the side here with a bit more baby oil on her just to try to get just the remnants of that paint off. And I don't even remember what that project was. That was a while ago. Hi, Atlanta. Hi, Firehorse. Thanks for coming, guys. I appreciate it. I appreciate you hanging out with me today. So I had bought, Dee Dee enabled me to buy 2 packs of highlighters. So I bought like the bright ones and then these muted ones. But the muted one that I bought in my original pack, look at that. It's fully dry. It was fully dry. Let me zoom in a little bit. So I was at the Walmarts again, and I thought I'm going to buy another pack to replace this one because I've been coloring with them. I'll show you in a minute. So let's see, drum roll. This one's dry too. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, that is crazy. I'm going to return this one. That's crazy. I didn't return the other one because I had thrown out the receipt and I'd already played with them. Okay, so the bright ones are fine, but it looks like they had a problem with their muted, this muted set, at least in Canada. That is crazy. So yeah, be careful. That was, oh my gosh. So, okay, that's got to go back to the store. My husband's like, why don't you return? I'm like, I already opened it and played with them all, and the other ones are fine. That one's going in. Well, maybe I'll keep it for, maybe there's a way to like add something in there to help like make it a blending pen or something. I could dip it in Gamsol and use it. I'm going to do that. I'm going to put it with my Gamsol, and then I can use it. I can dip it in the Gamsol and use it to blend stuff. Okay, well, I feel like it's possible one of these other nails is going to pop off. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, or dipping the tip in alcohol. Yeah, that was disappointing. I thought I'm going to save it and I'm going to unbox it live. And look, that was interesting. So this was one page that I did with the highlighters. So this one was just highlighters. This is in Chris Clue's sister, Patricia Garcia, PJ's Creations. Cute Cozy Cats. You can find it on Amazon. So I did that. It took me about an hour. So I just used the highlighters and some gel pens, a white gel pen and an orange gel pen. And that was lots of fun. I think I did that on Sunday. And it was really relaxing. So if you go in when they're wet and you keep going in the same spot, it will go through the paper. Not as much as alcohol markers, but it can go through. But then I decided, I think that was on Sunday. The other day, a couple days ago, I started on this one in this Millie Murata Precious Planet. I bought this. This was the only page I'd worked on it, and it's so much detail. I just haven't done any pages. It's a bit too detailed for me, but I thought I'm going to do some messy coloring in this. So I used the highlighters. And I did messy coloring, and then I waited between colors, so it actually didn't go through too badly, except on the rocks. I think I was overzealous. So if you have a double-sided book and you want to use highlighters, as long as you're a little bit careful, it works. And then I used the Languo gel pens. I can show you what this looked like just with the highlighters. Let me just pull that up. I did take a picture, and I saved it in notes. Let's just go here for a second. Let me just move that. So that was just with the highlighters. Oops. So I did the sky and the frog. And then that I decided to add pink to the leaves, pink, and sort of when it combined with the yellow, it gave an orange. And then now I'm adding detail with, so then I use the, see the stars here, not blended at all, right? And then I just use the Languo gel pens to scribble and kind of make it blend in. And then the Languo on the edge of the frog there. So that was before the Languo gel pens. And then this is after. I haven't done these leaves yet. So you can see here, I've got some of these leaves done. And then I had, oh, these little dots, that's with a super tip, with a blue, dark blue super tip. And then wherever I had little spaces showing, I used this gray super tip to just kind of fill in the space. And then now I'm adding the gel pens, just a few colors. And then on the leaves here, I'm using the Prisma fluorescent pink and yellow to blend it. Just in like the leaves. So here I would put like dark purple gel pen, and then here I put the light pink, and then the yellow, and then use the pencil to kind of blend it a bit. So I'm almost done. I got to do the ground, and I got to do these leaves, and yeah, then I'm going to call that done. So that was my coloring this week. And then it was funny because Kathy Berg was using a color palette, which was like a lot of these same colors. And I also did a page. I have some pages in this fantasy world done, but I'm not going to show them because they're part of a collab for Peaky Pens is doing. She's done one collab already of getting colorists to do one page, and then she puts them into a video. And now she's doing a second one of the same book. So I'm in that collab too. Hi, Gina. Thank you so much. So I'm in collab 2, so I can't show that page until she does the video reveal of all that. So I will post it on my Instagram and show it once that video is out. Yeah, exactly. Whoever thought when we were kids that coloring books would be like this? Yeah. Let's see if I missed anybody else. So I'm enjoying coloring. So speaking of coloring, I've been coloring, so I didn't spend any time working on that vase that I started last week. So today we're going to work on this vase project a bit more. And I don't think I'm loving this color scheme. I think I'm going to redo. I might have to paint that over with some gesso or something, but I think I'm going to do more of this color scheme, the purple and the blue, like the pickup with this PBO paint. Maybe I'll do PBO with this gold, and then I'll skip the gold alcohol ink. I found it didn't spread as well. So we'll do blue, purple, and maybe some green. And then, but I'm going to do it on medical exam tissue paper and then just collage it, because if you were here last week, you know that this part worked on the gel plate directly, but then the middle didn't really dry. I could have left it overnight. It probably would have worked, but that's just, I don't want to do that. So we're going to work on that today. I need a little bit of a drink of bubbly. All right. So that was with alcohol ink and a technique that I saw Teresa's Crafty Cabana show, using transparencies to spread them. So we're going to do that again today, but I think instead of using a stencil on first or much ink at all, I might just do it just directly and then stamp on the paper after, perhaps. Or maybe stamp on the or stamp off, maybe stamp off. We'll see what happens. Okay, so I'm putting my gloves on because of my press-on nails having that incident. If you weren't here at the beginning, I showed how I was using baby oil to clean off my plate, and the baby oil got in behind my press-on nail, and my nail fell off. So, so that's why I'm going to wear gloves today. And then, as you guys know, some of you know, I alternate streaming with Anne Lar. She was going on vacation this week to Cape Cod, so she asked if we could trade. So that's why I'm on this week, and Anne will be on next week and the week after. So the rest of August, Anne's going to be streaming on the Wednesdays. I might do like an impromptu live here or there. Atlantis says the papers look like peacocks. Cool. I'm just scrubbing off a little bit more of the paint that was left on here, but we're going to have these speckles, and we're just going to call it Crusty Bit Textures. So I did spend about 15 minutes cleaning this plate off. So if you don't like crusty bits, it's best to clean your plate right away before you put it away. And I always put a cover, usually, apparently not always, I try to remember to put a cover paper, like just a regular copy paper or whatever fits. Because if you put like a non-porous surface on it, it can pick up bubbles and the bubble textures can stay. And then I have one more word of caution that I'm going to show in just a second. Jane Literick was doing some gel plating. Check out her channel. And she did a great job. She used glossy photo paper on her prints, on her gel, like to pick up paint. I was always told not to use that it can wreck your plate. And one time I was trying to be smart and I put a piece of paper under this gel plate, and I thought it was regular paper. I just sort of pulled a strip out of the trash. Hi, Ivy Pearl. And so I put a strip here, but then when I realized it was photo paper, it was just a small strip. I tried to take it off, and I don't know if you can see that chunk that it took out of my gel plate. So Jane was able to use glossy photo paper on her gel plate, but I won't try that myself because I had an issue. And Ivy Pearl, she just put out a short, and it's funny because I was at Dee Dee's and I was talking about, sorry, just getting a sip. I was talking about how Caran d'Ache released the exclusive colors that were only in their anniversary tins. They released them as a set of 15. I'd seen a video yesterday. And then while I was at Dee Dee's, or right after, I noticed that Ivy Pearl did a good video about it. So check out Ivy Pearl's channel. And she has a good short describing the issue with that. Okay, so we're going to use the alcohol inks. And I didn't put them away last time, so I'm just going to pull out a few of them. The boysenberry. What else did we use on here? But I don't want this color scheme. I want this color scheme. I think I used some of I should have watched the playback. I might have used this terracotta, or this might be that orange Splendor pearlescent one. What else is on here? And then the blue was from this here, but I think we're going to use that dark blue, which was the indigo. Hi, Belinda. And then last week, I also talked about when you use alcohol inks on your gel plate, it will turn yellow and it's very smelly. So if you're sensitive to odors and fumes, I wouldn't recommend it. Here's the green botanical. And then that lighter one is this pink color. But again, I don't want to get into this realm. So I might skip that one. Oh, some of this lighter one was actually this pearlescent pink, which I'm almost out of. So maybe we'll start with that. I'm not going to use my gold Pinata ink because I found it didn't spread very well. It was a bit thick, and that could just be because it's older. So I'm almost out of this one. So I did pull out this aquamarine, but I might combine this with the gold to pick up. And we're going to do one big piece on the medical exam paper. So this one I'd put a leaf on, but then you could barely see it. So I think I'm just going to what I might do is I might put the alcohol ink on with that method that Teresa showed, and then I might stamp off using this crackle stamp and this lift off ink. I might do that and then pull it, and then we can always add some stamping back to it if we want. And as a reminder, when I'm done this vase, I'm going to spray it with this UV resistant gloss because alcohol inks are not light fast. Okay, y'all with the tour? Am I with the tour? I don't know. So let's see how many. 1, 2, 3. So that should give us 3 sides. And then I'll see if this can fit in. If not, then I will paint it with white gesso. And then I think in the cracks here, I'm going to use I'll try these fine liners. They might be too fine, but we'll fill in the cracks with, I don't know, black or gold, or we'll see what's going to work. Okay, that's our plan. I'm going to put this over here for now, and we're going to collage it onto, instead of putting the vase on here, we're going to put it on medical exam paper and then collage onto it. Let's just add a bit more light. Okay, any questions? Okay, so she being Teresa's Crafty Cabana, I did put her link in last week. I will link her in the description on this one as well. She used transparencies. So I have these inkjet transparencies. And last week, she used the full sheet. Last week, I cut them to use them, and I liked that size better. And then we used that in one of our art journals, which the magazine journal. And I do have some of the leftover pull here that I could use to blend it in. So that's where we put the vase down, and then that's where we collaged on. That part didn't work. So I could use that to kind of blend it into the other colors if it looks like that might work. Okie dokie, let's go for it. So if you're using alcohol inks, use a well-ventilated area, and you might even want to wear a mask. Hi, Joyce. Hi, Lisa. Yes, Colleen and Beth stream together. Colleen usually goes over to Beth's channel, and they do a lot of paint-alongs. And Kimberly, hi Kimberly, mentioned that Colleen did a girl with a duck. Okay, so I'm going to take one of these and I'm going to cut it in half. And I think I'll do it lengthwise because it's a pretty big plate. This plate is 12 by 14. So I'm just cutting this in half. And the reason I'm wearing gloves is because I had a technical difficulty with my press-on nail. Okay, so, and the other must, I think, when you're using alcohol inks is this little opener. And then I had this blower, so we use the blower too if we need it. So we're just going to fill this up with alcohol inks and then maybe stamp on some stuff, maybe stamp off some stuff. We'll see how it feels. So this is the dark blue one, and I think I maybe put too much of it last time, but we're just going to kind of go here and there. And I'm going to just spray it. See, I was finding that when I used the spray, it was, and I had the paint on underneath, I found it was kind of interfering with the spray. So this is, I don't know why it's already looking brown. Oh, you know what? It's looking brown because my plate's yellow. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about the color there. So Teresa just used a transparency as the method to spread the ink to give it kind of like lines. I'm noticing that mine is staining my plate a bit, like the little circles are staying there, but you know what? I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. All right, let's use purple next. And if I spray this with the alcohol, it will still move. So maybe what I'll do is I'll spray a patch and then add the ink and see if that gives us less of that, less of the dots. So this purple is very bright, which I'm not mad at. A lot of my home decor is that teal color and blue, and I love those colors. So I'm just kind of skating this across. I did not come up with this technique. Check out Teresa's Crafty Cabana. Hi, Vale. I can see you. Sorry if I missed anybody. Okay, let's use this terracotta. just spraying a bit because I might want some of those dots later, but I don't know. It'd be kind of cool to have a few. Okay, and then remember that when your colors mix, you have to remember your color theory. So this terracotta with the blue is going to make it even more brown. See there, it really got a bit patchy. So I might add a bit more of that blue. A little bit more here. Oh, I guess other people can't see you. All right, Vale, everybody's saying hi. People that can't see you are saying hi. Some people are just saying hi. I don't know. Okay. And that was the terracotta. Let's use this alcohol pearl splendor, which is an orange. I'm going to give it a good shake. Vale, Joyce, oh no, Shaz is saying that you might need to log out and then sign back in. Okay, so this I'm going to let it make drippies. And then I'm going to make a spot here and here. I'm going to spray it. And the pearlescent tends to clump up, I'm noticing. I don't know if it's just I kind of don't mind these spots though. Those might come out a little bit later. Okay, let's use this. I'm going to wait for that pearlescent pink. Let's use some of the green. Okay, so let's do, I'm going to spray first some areas, and then I'm going to add the green to some of those areas where I sprayed, I think. Okay, and then I'm going to turn this over. Actually, no, I think the blue and the green should be fine. So I'm going to just go ahead. Okay, let's use a bit more blue. And again, I'm going to spray there. Let me do one section at a time. By the time I get back to it, it's kind of like, this is the blue. It looks very purpley, but just trying to smush it. Let's go here. Oh, I was finding last time that if I sprayed onto here, it worked better, didn't I? That blue's looking very muddy. Let's try that. I'm going to put it on here. And I'm going to spray it. And then I'm going to slap it. Yeah, I don't know. Definitely need some here, something there. Let's go here. I'm going to put it on there. Trying different ways. Now, it does reactivate the ink that's already there. So if you really love an area, don't go back over it. And something here. I think more, I love blue. I can't help it. I love blue. Okay, so I'm trying all different ways, getting different effects. Go blue up to that green. Okay. Here, let's do the terracotta. No, green? No, terracotta. Hey, View. You're getting settled back in. That's good. I'm just playing with alcohol inks again on the gel plate. I'm not using acrylic paint this time first. I'm just going straight in with the alcohol ink. And I've done alcohol ink on the gel plate a lot. It's just this transparency method I found very intriguing. I liked the vertical lines it gave. Let's do some here. Because my plate is so, oh, this was the alcohol pearl. I thought it was a terracotta. Okay, well, we're going to do, it's chunky. The alcohol pearl gets kind of chunky. Let's put some terracotta on there. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, and let's use some more green. Last week I talked about my inspiration of raku pottery. If you want to go check out the beginning of my stream last week. There's some green there. I like that. Let's add a bit more green here. I'm trying to just press lightly, just with the green. Okay, and let's do some green up there. The green and the purple might help it blend into the parts of the vase that I did last week. So here, if we end there, it might kind of perhaps match up. So let's do some blue in this corner. And then the last thing I'm going to do is a bit of purple and a bit more of that pearlescent pink. So I'm just lightly pushing that around with the transparency, and it does reactivate the other areas. Let's put a little bit in that green there, a little bit in this green here. Just going to do a little bit like that. Okay, and this is, it says 70% rubbing alcohol, but it's actually like 99% in there. And you do not, you know, I should be wearing a mask. I just want to say it again, the inks, these inks here, they have resin in them. So you do not want to spray these. Don't go ahead and put these in a spray bottle. Hi, Jane. I showed the area that my plate got a chunk out of it from putting gloss photo paper. So I'm glad you had good results with it, but I'm not going to be using that. Okay, so let's use a little bit of purple. I don't want too much purple, but let's do a little bit here. Gonna put the purple with the blue. This is tricky to kind of spread it with this. You have to have a really light hand. Okay, purple. It's hard to tell purple from orange and the terracotta on here. that is terracotta there beside some blue. See, if I lift it up, I can see it. I don't know if you guys can see that. Because my plate's yellow, it's hard to see the colors. I'm going to grab a bit more green. Just a teeny bit of green there. I'm trying to use parts that already have the green. Now I shouldn't worry that not everything's covered because I'm going to pick it up with that pearlescent paint. So let's pull it. I'm going to just put a bit of that, the pearlescent pink on first, because I did like how that gave a little bit of a texture. Okay, this one, Hey girl, hey. So this orange pearl looks cool. We're gonna add a little bit of this pink pearl, which I almost have none left. So I'm just gonna kind of do that, give it some spots. I'm tempted to use this blue, the celestial blue, and just do some blops. Some blops. Hey, Piggy Pens, good to see you. Your sun, the sun's getting an eclipse there. That is cool. You're in the UK. Everybody, that's who I was talking about when I said Piggy Pens is doing a collab, a full book collab of that Emily Oberg. And that's why I couldn't show you my page. Okay, so I have to sneeze. Woo! Sorry, I tried to cover my microphone. All right, so it's gonna look, I don't know if you can see that. If I lift it up and let the light go through it, it's gonna look something like that. It's a little bit, maybe a little bit dotty. Maybe I should spray some of those. Just, oh yeah, that's the other thing I did. I did this little spray last time, didn't I? From afar to give it a bit more texture. Okay. So let that dry, and then I think instead of lifting off with this, I think I'm going to stamp on with black. I think we'll do that. And this is a crackle paint finish from Stampin' Up. So what if we use, or I can use a dark blue. So many thoughts. Actually, I think I'm going to use archival black. Because if I use ink that is reactivating, then when I put my paint on to pick this up, it will reactivate. So this has some really cool bits of texture from just spraying that alcohol spray. I'm going to see if I can bring it up to show you before I mess it up with that stamp. Okay. So can you see where I sprayed the alcohol? There's like little tiny holes basically. Okay, so I'm going to stamp on with this. And remember, we're going to be putting it on medical exam paper, but then we're going to collage it onto here. So I'll probably kind of use the middle section, I think, with the collage paper. So let's go ahead and just put some random crackle. Now, did it go off or is it just stamping off? I'm not sure if it's working. I can see the crackle. Let's do a test here. The ink's not going on, it's just stamping off the texture. So let me use some black paint, which isn't ideal for your a rubber stamp. So I'm going to have to clean it right away. I'm going to get another gel plate to use as a palette. And we're just going to use, let me get a 5x7. Just going to try to use it sparingly. So I'm just using the Liquitex Mars Black on my 5x7 plate here. Ooh, that's a big paint goober. Yummy. Okay, and I don't normally gel plate with gloved hands. I'm doing it because I've got my press-on nails that fell off with the baby oil. But if you're using alcohol inks, it's not a bad idea to wear gloves because it stains your hands pretty bad. Okay, I'm just going to use this little brayer. I don't know if you can see that, a little brayer. And I'm just going to kind of do that and see. Yeah, so that's going on there better. And I'm just going to kind of do just some random spots. Okay, I'm going to baby wipe this. Getting all that paint off my rubber stamp. I don't usually use paint on my rubber stamps. Okay, and then I'm going to put a bit more on. That's too gloopy. I think it's better if I use the brayer. I was talking to my husband this morning about gel plating, and he's like, is it a brayer or a briar? If you guys watched my stream with him, it was hilarious. So it's kind of look like bark. Okay. Want kind of everywhere, but not quite. Put some right there. It's not going there. There we go. Is that pretty even? Okay, I can always stamp onto the collage paper after I pull it. Hi, Auntie Chris. Stays on. Yeah, I could use stays on, but I've already done this, but we could try it. I only have black and brown in stays on, which is perfect for this. Let me go grab it. I just don't know if it's because of the alcohol ink on the plate that it's not grabbing the archival ink, but we can try that. I think that's a worthwhile experiment. I just want to make sure I don't have any acrylic paint on this stamp, because I don't want to contaminate my stays on. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Just dry it off. Hey, Zippity. Okay, so here's the stays on. Some people don't like the smell of stays on. I like the smell of the black. I only have black and I think I have brown, but I do like the smell of it. To me, it smells like amaretto. Okay, let's go somewhere that doesn't have any. Yeah, no, it's not really working. It's just removing the alcohol ink, which is fine. But I'll show you guys. It should work on this transparency though. Let's do that. Nope. Maybe my stays on is dried up. I put a lot on here. Let's see. It should go on to here, shouldn't it? Nope. I don't know. Seems like it's, oh no, I think mine's dried up. Okay, so it might have worked, but we'll never know because mine is dried up. See, look, if I try to put it like on here, nothing comes off. It's dry. Do I have a refill? No, I don't have a refill. So I think that could work, but mine was dry. All right, so now we're going to pull this onto the medical exam paper. I think that was a really good idea though, Ivy. So I think it could have worked. I'm just going to pull off. I'm just going to wipe this off. This would make a cool print, but I don't feel like it. So I'm just going to wipe it off. Yeah, I think it's just mine was dry. So yeah, it should work on transparency. It might have worked on here. Okay, I'm going to get my piece of medical exam paper ready. So here's my medical exam paper, and it's a good width. So I'm just going to make sure I have enough to cover the plate. And then Jackie Bernardi talks about using gloss gel medium with medical exam paper to help it be more translucent. Although, because we're just putting this on a vase and there's no color underneath, I don't know if we need to worry about that so much. Sorry, just putting this back. Okay, I'll put it back later because it wants to crinkle. Okay, so this is that. Did I cut it big enough? Not quite. Let me try that again. Cut another piece. I don't want to have like an edge to pick up, so I'm pick it up with a combination of the gold and the PBO blue, I think, and the metallic white. So that's pretty much dry. So we're gonna do this blue. Whoops. I have to go buy more of this. And I'm gonna put a little bit of white with it. Just to extend it, and then we'll do, I think we'll do some areas of gold where I'll just kind of spot skip brayer. I think that's what it's called. So I'm going to just use this to get some of the gold spread, and then we're going to do a little bit of that. And I want to keep those lines vertical to go with the vertical nature of the alcohol ink we have on there. I don't want it too, I'm just kind of going in circles to make it so that it's not like stripes of white. Okay, hopefully there's no hairs in there. I think there's a hair on my brayer because I can see like a repeating pattern, but I'm not going to worry about that. And there might be wrinkles in this, which will give us white spots. Yeah, see, there's a hair on my brayer, so it gave like little loopies. I feel like my hair is just falling out lately. Anybody else having that? I've been taking ferritin and those biotin collagen gummies, and I don't know, it just seems like my hair doesn't want to stay in my head. Dan says she's seen a lot of people using matte medium with the exam paper and it works fine. I think it does, unless you're trying to do like a smaller area on top of something else that has color. And I think it also depends on the brand of exam paper you have. So it looks like I have to buy some StazOn refills. I have let's try the brown StazOn. This is the brown one. I'm going to see if it works on the transparency. Just curious. Yeah, see, it would have worked with the black if my black hadn't been dry. See that? Whoops. So that's with the brown. And then let's do it on here. Yeah, so it would have worked. The black would have worked. I'm just gonna do that. We'll do a little mini print here. And my archival should have worked, but maybe it's dry too. I don't know. Lauryl sulfate is a bad ingredient for hair. Hi, Jolu. Hi, Becky. So we're letting this print dry. Let's just do a mini. Let's see if we put the StazOn first, and then we add the alcohol ink if it moves the StazOn, because I can't remember. Is StazOn alcohol based? I think it's pigment based. Just let that dry over there. So let's do a mini pull. Let's do, that blue's pretty dark, I won't show that. Let's do this light green. And we use this. So if you're just coming in, I'm using a technique inspired by Teresa's Crafty Cabana, where she used transparency to move alcohol ink on the gel plate. I have used alcohol inks a lot on the gel plate, but I haven't done the spreading with the transparency. I can show you, like, you can brayer it. I'll show you the difference. So you can use a brayer, and you can brayer it, and it's maybe similar. I just think this gives you really cool ridges and stuff. It's just a neat way to move it, I think. And let's see, how about this purple? Yes, I will check that, Jolu. I will check to see if it's in my shampoo. I still have lots of hair on my head. And remember, my plate's very yellow, so. Okay. And then I did like that texture we got with just spraying a little bit of the alcohol mist. And I'm gonna let that dry a bit. I have used this to move the alcohol ink as well on the plate, and that works good. So once it's dry, I'm going to mist it again because separated, but then it all went back together. So I'm going to mist it again, just a little bit. There we go. From afar, let that dry, and then let's add the pearlescent. Actually, no, let's add the smolder. Hi, Char. Yes, thick head of hair and I shed. Okay, let's use it a little bit. I'm just going to do little drips of this one because it's pretty cool. And this one maybe we'll just pick up with gold. Last week I showed my alcohol ink swatches. So these are all the colors of alcohol ink that I have. I showed those last week. And then the smolder, that's this one that I just used. And over black, it's quite luminescent. But I'm going to pick this up with the light color. I did mention that last week that if you use alcohol inks, you need to pick them up, unless it's like the pearl ones, then you need to pick them up with the light color. The pearl ones will show over the light color, but the other ones won't really show. Okay, let's pick that up with just a gold. Stays on ink is solvent based. So what does solvent based mean? When you say solvent, like what is the solvent? Okay, and let's brayer this. So this one has the Stays On brown, and then some alcohol ink, and we're picking up with gold, and I'll use that smaller medical exam paper that I cut. Zippity Doodah says, I'm making a t-shirt that says, losing hair, don't care, I'm old. But I don't want to look old. Marilyn says her hair got thin after some hormonal issues. Okay, so let that dry. And let's see if this one's ready to pull. Ooh, it's pretty. I think it's ready. Okay, I'm gonna bring it over. All right. So here's our transparency. I'm gonna move that aside. Let's pull this. I do love playing with alcohol inks. Okay. So there's going to be a few little spots because of the wrinklage there. That blue is the color of my living room, like the couch. Oh, I love it. This is giving me those Raku vibes. If you look at my live stream last week, I showed the Raku pottery pictures. That was my inspiration, and I love these colors way more than what we got last week. Oh my gosh, that is yummy. Yummy. I'm bringing it up close to show you guys. Okay, that's hard to, I'll just do it like this. Hopefully you can see that. Look at the yumminess. And actually the wrinkling of the medical exam paper added to that crackled texture. Like I love where the alcohol mist gave those little spots. Sorry, it's hard to hold this straight. Just trying to do a zoom. I like the mixture of the linear alcohol ink with the spots of alcohol ink. And then with that textured, with that crackle. And then I love how the gold the gold with the PBO, how it gave this sort of light, almost like an aged copper look. That is just gorgeous. Me likey. Okay, I'm gonna have a little drink of water. So the blue ink looked really purple. The indigo blue looked purple. And then the purple one, the boysenberry, looked really almost pink-like. But I love the shimmeriness of that. All right, so let's collage that onto our vase. Move that over here. So this is the vase we started last time that I wasn't thrilled with I tried to pick it up directly from the gel plate and it picked up here and here, but here we ended up collaging in with the medical exam paper, but I wasn't crazy about this color scheme. So we're going to take this, I'm gonna put some wax paper down and I'm just gonna do that and I'm gonna collage it down onto 3 sides like that. And then we'll see how it blends in. Okay, I'm gonna grab a big thing of wax paper. So I'm gonna start here. Actually, no, I think I'll start here. I'll start on this side here. And then we'll rip the edge to go there. We rip it? Yeah, let's rip it. Let's see. Okay, so let me get my wax paper down first. And I'm gonna take these gloves off so that I can manipulate a little bit better. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to rip here, try to. Okay. Yes, I liked the open spaces, exactly, Diane. It let the paint shine through and it highlighted the alcohol ink nature very well. So that's not really gonna mold well together. So I'll probably use the edges. I'll probably paint that white and then use edges maybe to collage that off. Perhaps I should go to the bottom here so that I have a bigger piece there. I think that's a good idea. Okay, so I'm gonna go here. All right. Now, when you're using the matte medium, the hardest thing is not letting your sticky hands. Maybe I should cut it into panels because I'm probably going to edge there anyhow. What do you guys think? Should I cut it into panels? I think I should. I think I should actually cut it here. Okay. Do that. Fingers crossed that I can get this, where was it? Here. Get this straight across. If anything, I want it a bit bigger. That should still work. Okay. Okay, so we can use that. I just think it'll be more manageable if I do it in sections. So if we do that, can I rip it on here directly? Sure. So I'm going a little bit bigger. That's panel 1. This is panel 2. Why such thin paper? Thin paper because I want to collage it onto this 3D object. So it's going to go into the spaces easier. So this is medical exam tissue, so it's a bit more sturdy. It's sturdier than like tissue paper. So when I go to collage it, it's not going to like fall apart. That's number 2. And I've got this, I tried to erase that, but it didn't erase, but that's okay. And then this is going to be number 3. So I think it'll just be easier if I have 3 separate sections. Gloss medium to keep the shine. That is a great idea. So yes, I will use gloss medium after all. That is a very good point. See, this is why I do these things live, so you guys can help me problem solve. Sometimes I see the problem solving and sometimes I miss it. Okay, so I'm going to, so that's the 3rd one. I'm going to go ahead and just rip off the clear part too. So that's number 3. I want them to kind of look like it's continuous. And this is number 2. So it'd be hard to do all 4 sides at once anyhow. So I'm going to do the 3 sides, let it dry, and then the next time I come on, I will show you guys, I think this will be the plan. We'll show you how I blended in that 4th side that we did last week, that I wasn't crazy about the colors. This is definitely more my color scheme here. Okay. And then we got this we can use for that last one. So yes, let's use the gloss medium. I've got this gloss medium, and then I've got the golden gloss medium. And I think I'm going to use the golden gloss medium. I'm sure it's a little bit better quality than this Mart. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some of this into a container. Okay, I put a bag on it to help it not glue the lid on. I think I'll put it in a fresh bag. So I'm going to just throw that out. And then have some wipes ready to wipe your hand, because if your hand starts to get sticky, then it's going to rip the paper. So I'm going to move these out of the way. I think I put the caps on them all. Okay, so that was 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to start with number 3 and a brush. But first, I'm going to put some of this into a container. This is just like a protein powder thingamajiggy. So I'm going to put just a bit, and I'm going to use as big of a brush as I can, but I want it somewhat firm. And I don't want it too, I think we'll use this one. I want it soft so I don't get big ridges. So I'm going to put the gloss medium on this. I'm going to spray this with water, place it down, and then put gloss medium on top. That is the plan. And I can actually add a little bit of water to this, I think. Just a little bit of water is fine. Okay, so that's the side, the 4 sides. So we're going to do, this is side 3, so that's going to be this paper here. Okay, so it's going to go like that. So I'm going to put it like so. And maybe I will just put a bit more water, thin it out a little bit more. Diane says she's attempting to waterproof her leaky bird bath. Yeah. So I'm going to try to be fast. Maybe I should almost have a bigger brush. I'm going to spritz this. Because if you don't get it on the underneath, it's not going to stick as well. And there's all these little ridges I have to go in. So I don't do practice pieces usually. This is, you get what you get. And then we figure it out. So I think I got all in there. So I'm going to spray this. And then I'm just going to move it over this way a bit, I think. Oh, ah. Ah. Okay, start in the middle. And then I'm gonna go outwards to try not to have bubbles and to try not to get my fingers sticky. Okay, and feels like some of that black paint, which is weird, is coming off. So I don't want to over manipulate this because it is pulling some of that off. I'm going to wipe that. I don't know if you can see that. It's moving the black paint. I don't understand why the Liquitex black paint would move. So I'm just going to have to be a bit more careful. It shouldn't be moving, but alas. So we're not going to worry too much. It's going to maybe make it look a little bit more aged. Or is it the, so this was drying. See, it's kind of murky, but that's okay. And then I'm gonna just, or is it the blue alcohol ink that's moving? I don't know. Something's moving. So I'm gonna try not to over manipulate this. Once that gloss medium dries, it should seal it in there. Uh-oh. Speaking of over manipulate, there we go. Okay. And we are going to be painting in probably those divots in black, I think. Sorry, I can't see chat right now. It looks like some of the alcohol ink is coming off, so I don't want to, I'm going to push in with the back to make sure it gets there. Okay, I think that's okay. So you can see, so this is my, if you weren't here last week, this is a Make Market DIY ceramic decor. I think it's from Michael's, but it might be from HomeSense. Okay, I'm going to put this way, and I'm going to wrap this edge. Okay. Wipe this here. So that's one side done. Hey, Casey. Thanks for stopping in on your lunch break. So I can tell already I like this a lot better than that. So I'm probably going to end up putting gesso on that and then putting this last piece here, kind of cobbling it on there, I think. Okay, so now I'm going to rotate that like so. Actually, yeah, I'm going to rotate it like that. It's going to be hard to do that last side until this dries, but let's just go for this piece here. So that's going to go here. Okay. So same idea. So minimal brushing because it was disrupting. I don't know if it was disrupting the black paint or the alcohol ink. I think it might have been disrupting the blue ink. Maybe because it was very thick. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit more in here. I'm going to spray my water. Okay. All right. I'm going to put a bit more water even just so that it's spreads a bit quicker. So if you're familiar with my channel, you know I don't do a lot of 3D objects. Occasionally. Usually it's more like journals. So I'm trying to be a bit more methodical on this one. Kind of go like that. Put lots on here so that it doesn't dry too fast. Talking to myself. Hopefully I'm not missing a lot of good tips in the chat. Okay, that's on there. Give this a spray. Okay. And I'm gonna try to just do it quicker. Okay, I think that's good. Start at the bottom, get rid of any wrinkles. Yeah, it's that some of the alcohol ink's coming off. So I just got to be very light with this, not rub so hard, I think. So I'm just going lightly. As long as most of it stays on, I think I'll be happy. You know, if it's a little of it goes away, that's okay. Okay, and then I'll use this. Oh, I gotta be careful so I don't rip the paper. Now in the cracks here, I can go a little bit harder, I think. Now, what I could have done, maybe if you do this, maybe spray your paper with a fixative. I'm not sure, because it's definitely, I am losing some of the color. So I'm trying to go quick and softly. So now I've decided not to push so hard. A couple spots, if there's a bubble though, I kind of have to. Like here, there's going to be a bubble. This is a big area. You could just put it on in small pieces. That might be easier than trying to get this huge piece on, but what can I say? I'm a sucker for punishment. Okay. Just doing that. Okay. And then just softly going through to push down. So I'm trying not to push so hard that I rip the paper. No, but I'm definitely affecting the finish there. Okay, just leave it. Soften that a little bit. I kind of made lines there. Maybe I shouldn't use the end of the paintbrush. Okay, I'm gonna, oops, lift it up, being careful not to touch this side too much, and then we'll put that down. And we can paint the top of this gold, maybe. Okay. All right, so that's side 1. That's side 2. This should be side 3. I'm going to just actually push that down a bit more. I love the colors, even if some of them have like spread or faded or whatever. I still like it a lot. Okay. Now, to do the last side, I really don't want to put this side down because I feel like it could stick. I think what I'll do is I'll hold it. Can I hold it with one hand? No, I can't. Let me just do a zoom in. So that's how it's looking. And that's the other side. And then that goes from there to there. I think to be safe, I could do it this way, like that. But then you guys can't see what I'm doing anyhow, and it's harder for me. So this piece is going to go on here like that. So I'm going to wait till this is all dry. Like maybe tomorrow I'll put this side on. And then probably what I'll do is I'll probably paint this out with white gesso. I could do that now, but that's kind of boring to watch. And then I'll try to match this up. I'll have to rip this, I think, into strips, but I'll have to go this way. I'll have to kind of rip it so that I can blend it more, I think. So I'll do that before the next stream. I don't want to do it now because I really don't want to wreck what I've done. I'm really happy with it. And then when it's all done, I will spray it with, where'd it go? I had the spray. It's a UV spray. I don't know where it went. I showed it at the beginning. And then evidently Golden recommends sealing alcohol ink work first before using gloss medium. There are a few ingredients that can move the alcohol inks. Okay, well that makes sense. So I was just a little careful. I think I did it pretty good. I was pretty careful. And what I might do, I could maybe spray this. Actually, let's do a test. I'm not going to spray that one, but we could test by spraying this one. I can use my Spectrafix spray because I can use it indoors. So let's do that. So I'm going to spray this. So thank you, Diane, for that information. I appreciate it. I probably should have researched that before I, just jumped in, but that's okay. So I'm just going to set that over here. What happens if we use this Final Fix Spectrafix on here? Now it does work better vertically. I'm going to tape this edge and then I can hold my paper up. Or let's do a test on this one because it's just a small piece. That gel plate was a 12 by 14 Jelly Arts plate that was gifted to me by Peggy Fitzmaurice. I don't want to put that back in because I added water, but I'm going to put a baggie on this to close it. So I don't want it to dry up. Ooh, that's a big Ziploc. Don't I have smaller ones? Okay, maybe I'll use parchment paper instead. Or I'll just use wax paper. Okay, so I'm going to just put some wax paper, that's probably too much, on here to close it. Okay. All right, so now we got the Spectrafix. I gotta give it a good shake. And this you can use indoors. Doing a lampshade. That's a good question. I don't know, because I know that their alcohol inks are combustible, but once the alcohol runs out, like evaporates, you'd think it'd be okay. So I would recommend, see it says flammable, I would recommend checking. Okay, so I'm going to just use this. I'm just going to spray vertically. We'll see if that affects the finish. So I gave it a good spray. And we'll see. Now this is a matte fixative, so it's probably going to make it less shiny. I'm just looking to see if I see any running. Okay, I'm just going to let it sit there. It did soak through. Hopefully it doesn't stick to the wax paper. Okay, I'm just wiping off my hands. So while that's drying, let's pull our other little print that we did. Cut this. So I appreciate you guys in chat giving me ideas, problem solving for me. That is awesome. Okay, so here's the other one we did. This was the one that we used the this brown stays on to make the crackle texture using this here. Okay, that was a Stampin' Up stamp. So here's what that one looks like. So that's pretty. So now we know if we use gloss medium, we'd have to fix it. Diane, if I use matte medium, do I have to fix it, or is it just the gloss? I'm going to just use the hair dryer, the blow dryer on this a little bit. I would like it dry enough so we could test it, you know? Still looks shiny. I'm holding this heat gun well away. I'm not holding it really close, but I'll let you know if we get spontaneous combustion. Oh dear. Yes, that's very autumny. All right, so here I think it's pretty much dry. So why don't we test it in a journal with some gloss medium versus matte medium and see if we notice any difference. And you can see I still have all the detail on there. I didn't lose any of those dots using the Spectrafix, this one. So let me, and it still looks shiny. Okay, let's grab a journal or a piece of paper. Let's see. Don't have a journal handy. We have this one. Just seeing. This is the one that we did the to put the transparency in last time. I wonder if there's a spot in here we could put this piece. And we'll do it with the gloss medium. I'm not finding anything that I want to put it with. Here, we could put it here on the bottom. We'll put it there. Well, thanks, Marilyn. I hope you enjoy it. I've got quite a few videos. All right, so I'm going to just rip it in half. Okay, rip it here. And we do have that leftover gloss medium to use anyhow. Okay, so let's put this aside. So I'll finish the vase before the next time I'm on. So just a reminder, next week we have Anne Lar is on Wednesday, and then I will be on the week after. And I might do an impromptu live stream, or I might not. No committing. One thing you won't get on this channel is commitment. Okay, let's use our leftover gloss medium. So I put this behind here because I don't want my pages to stick together. This is the napkin journal that Dee Dee sent me, that she already put some napkins down. All right, so here's our gloss medium. So this is the golden gloss medium. Oh, thanks, Ivy. Evidently, matte medium will also cause some movement of the alcohol inks. Okay, good to know. So we'll just use the gloss medium because I want to use up what's in this bin anyhow. So I'm just going to put it on here. Okay, and then I'm going to spray the medical exam paper with some water. Oops, that's a fixative. Woo! All right, that's the water. That's water. H2FNO. Okay, and then we're going to put this on here. Oops. Do a little bit further that way. There we go. And then we're going to go over top. Moment of truth. We're getting as much. Let's see. I'm still getting a little bit of movement. Like you can see, I smeared it, and the bubbles that we had. So these little spots that were in this one kind of went away. Like I smeared it pretty hard. So that tells me that I probably need another layer of fixative on it. But I'm not going to. I'm just going to go for it. And we're just going to, I'll just be more gentle. I won't be so smushy. So I'll just do that. And then spray this back with water. And alcohol inks are not, just to be clear, alcohol inks are not light fast. I don't think they are. Okay, now if I rub it with my hand, just with water, it doesn't smear, or does it? A little bit maybe. Okay, so now I'm just going to be gentle, and I'm just going to pat this. So next week we have Anne-Lar. She'll be back from Cape Cod. I'm sure we'll hear all about her cool adventures. And then the week after that is Anne-Lar again. And then I'll be back the first week of September. So this one, I just patted it. I didn't rub-a-dub-dub it. And we maintained most of those textures pretty well. There's a bubble though. That's okay. So how are we doing for time? We've got 15 minutes left. So, and then once this is dry, I'll cut that off. So if we want to collage this in, we'd have to do that as well. Or we could just use a glue stick. Let's try our that glue stick I just bought. Where is it? This one, the Aleene's Ultra, what's it called? Industrial Strength. So let me just dry this. And then we'll find a spot for the, or I could pull out another, let me just pull out a different journal. So let's move this aside here. We're gonna let that dry. And let's pull out, maybe, I got this little magazine journal that I'm working on, this cut down one. Let's try just using glue stick. What if we do that? I'm gonna cut it, make a little frame for her. Oh, I was going to say, so I'm still planning to put paint before I sign off. I'm still thinking I'm going to put gold paint where those, I don't know. Maybe I'll just do a fine thing of paint. I'm not sure if I'm going to put paint in the cracks. Like here, I would have had to for sure. But here, I don't know. Maybe I'll just put gold on the corner and see how I like it. But I have to wait for it to dry. So we're not going to do that today, but I'll show you guys next time. I promise I'll get my homework done this time. Okay, so we're going to use a glue stick. I'm sure, well, not sure, but it should work. So that. Okay, so glue stick, where'd it go? That glue stick does not want me to use it. So should we put it, Jane's saying no paint. So I just bought this. It's still, yeah, it's good. It's juicy. Let's just, that's a bit wet. So I'm not wetting the tissue paper because I'm putting glue stick on it. I wouldn't be able to do this. So it won't go as transparent as if I, used matte medium and glued it, but we're trying to see. Test the alcohol ink, test the this glue stick. So that looks good. This glue stick is nice and juicy. I do like it. Let's cut another strip. So Carol, my quiet corner will be on next, I think. I haven't seen her. Usually she'll, I need to know where to cut this. I don't know where to cut it. There we go. Usually she'll pop on if she's not going to be going live. So I'm going to do that there. So I like the feel of this glue stick so far. Is it new? Like, it's the first time I've seen it at Michael's or the Dollar Tree. Has anybody else seen this glue stick? It is nice and wet. Where I live, it's very dry, and I find sometimes the glue sticks, they're already drying off before I've, got them on my paper. And I feel like this one is staying nice and wet. You know what I'm saying? Hi, Carrie. We're playing with alcohol inks on the gel plate, and we are making a mess, doing experiments. Carrie the Crafter does some amazing work. Check him out if you haven't seen him before. So this is just in my little magazine, cut down magazine journal, like Dee Dee shows how to do. This is a bunch of Somerset images. So put that one there and this one here. And then we got a little frame for her. So I'm testing this Aleene's Industrial Strength glue stick. And I think I like it. If it works, if it stays on, for me, I'm finding I like that it's staying wet, like it's staying tacky. So just to compare, I'm going to use this one just to compare the feel of it. So this one here is the purple. it's, let's see. Yeah, it's staying pretty tacky too. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too hard on my glue sticks. Expect too much. Move that over a bit. So I know this one was with the Elmer's glue, and the rest were with this Aleene's Industrial Strength. Hi, Alicia. Well, welcome. And what we could do is maybe we can just wrap this one to the other side. Sure, because it's just a play journal. It's not like anything, not that any of my journals are serious, but we can even wrap this one over to the side here. Let me just, I'm making a mess. So I'll show you guys the vase one more time before I sign off, especially for my latecomers. You know what we worked on today. This is just using up some scraps. And then maybe we'll stick this in here too. Sure. Use it up. So if you hang on just a second, I will show you my vase that I was covering with an alcohol ink printed jelly plate. After which we found out that if you're using gloss medium or matte gel medium with the alcohol inks, you have to seal them first. Who knew? Just going to use these up. I might put those there, but I'll do that later. I'm going to go ahead and grab the vase to show you. So this was some of the leftovers, like an extra little print we did on the medical exam tissue. This was what we have left over from the medical exam tissue, which I'm going to use to do that fourth side, I think. And here is our vase. That it is a Make Market DIY ceramic decor, $21.99 Canadian, which I know I got it on sale. I did not pay that. So here's the vase. I have to sneeze. Oh, so sorry. I covered my microphone and my face. Okay, so there's the side one. And then that's side two. So we were able, because I didn't over brush some areas, we were able to keep some of that texture that we had here, which I'm happy about. This one, I think I over brushed it because I didn't realize it was pulling the texture off. So here we still have some of that texture, but I kind of smushed it a bit. This side here, I did a much better job. There's more wrinkles though, because I didn't over brush it, but that's okay. And then I'm going to put this piece here. That piece is going to go there. And maybe I'll spray it. So we found that we needed to fixative the alcohol ink before using the gloss medium. This is a piece we added. I fixatived it, and I didn't fixative it enough, so it was kind of smushing a bit. So we'll do that. I'll fixative this before I put it on. At least it'll help a little bit. And then this one I'm going to cover with white gesso this side, and then I'm going to somehow add pieces of this to make it match the other side, because these are more colors of my decor anyhow, especially that blue. So that's what we did today. Thank you for those that have been here the whole time. Thank you for those that came in partway through. Thank you for those that watched the replay. I appreciate you. And Anne Laura will be on next week at this time. I will be on in September, but I might do an occasional impromptu live. You never know. You never know. Only when both hands are full in art do you need to sneeze. Yes, exactly. Didn't fixative it enough. I know. I have to fixative it more, I think. This says frame without glass. So they're saying this protects from UV as well. Is that right? Why does it say frame without glass? Protective matte finish so you don't have to frame under glass. Okay, we've combined casein and beeswax to create a moisture resistant, tough yet flexible. So I use this one because I wanted to do it in front of you, and this one doesn't have its odor free. So yeah, but if I really wanted to, you know, I'm going to do a screenshot of this. I think this will be our thumbnail, maybe. I don't know. I suck at thumbnails. Okay, so go see if Carol My Quiet Corner's on. If not, we'll see you guys in a couple weeks. Have a great rest of August. It is my pleasure to stream and to have you guys join me and help me and just kind of, you know, check out what we do. All right. Bye, everybody.